So I knew we had to get you in and hear a little bit about your story and what you're doing. So let's start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself and telling our audience here, who you are.
Okay, sure. So my name is Christina Valerie Quinones. I grew up in Northeast El Paso.
Nice. Northeast,
My
represent.
represent.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Andres.
Andres, okay, cool.
So kind of a rough upbringing,
Yeah.
but I got through it, and it kind of taught me to work very hard, everything that I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm a full-time nurse,
Awesome.
and I work in critical care, and I'm gonna start school this month actually to be a nurse practitioner,
Nice.
and then I own Carrera apparel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're staying busy, huh?
Staying busy, still young, and I kind of want to get everything set that makes sense.
Yeah,
Things I want to
definitely.
do.
Of
And then
course.
kind of,
Do you have a family yet?
no, not yet.
No? Okay. So you have the time right now.
I have
to
the
really
time,
grind.
exactly.
So we were talking a little bit pre-podcast, and you have 3 jobs right now, right?
Yes. So I work in ICU, CCU, so we work with really critical patients
Okay.
full time. So
So you see some crazy stuff.
some crazy stuff, yeah. And I do that 3 times a week. And then I work at another hospital. It's a long-term acute care. I work there once or twice a month, or
Nice.
basically as need. So if they call me and I, hey, we
Kind of
need
like an
help,
on-call type deal.
on-call type thing.
Okay.
So I do that, and then I run Barbella Apparel.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 jobs.
That's
Yeah.
insane. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about, growing up. You said you grew up in Andres, Northeast, right? And for those of you that aren't from El Paso, Northeast, what kind of rep do you think Northeast has?
Like, I love the Northeast. I always will. I'm from there. But it does have the rep for having, like, big problems, drug problems.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up fancy. I grew up in, starting my life in a 2-bedroom home that my grandfather built on Dyer. So kind of a rough area. If you're from El Paso, you know where
Yeah.
Dyer's
So
from.
2-bedroom. Did you have any siblings?
Yeah, actually, it was kind of crazy. So it was a 2-bedroom house. It was me, my older brother, my aunt, my grandma, my great-grandma, my great-grandpa, and my mom.
Nice.
And my mom was a hustler, so she worked her butt off to buy a house, so she bought a home, and she moved everybody into like a bigger, nicer home in the Northeast. So she did that. And I think I get like a lot of my work ethic from her. But yeah, like growing up, things were a little bit rough. When I was 3, my older brother was murdered in a drive-by shooting.
Well,
And so
out here in the Northeast?
in the Northeast, yeah.
Sure.
And so a lot of people don't know that about me, that, I grew up kind of rough. I don't know, people assume that I was spoiled or something, but
Right.
that wasn't the case at all. So, yeah, that kind of set, I guess, my life, because my older brother was a normal kid. He just got into it with the wrong crowd, kind of opened his mouth and told someone off when he shouldn't have pulled off. And so my mom was really strict, like, with me growing up. She didn't allow me to like go to parties. She didn't let me do a lot of stuff. But with that, she put me in a lot of extracurricular activities. And then when I was 14, I really wanted to work out and like get fit.
Yeah.
I had one of my cousins was a trainer, and my mom was always really into fitness. And so she was like, "All right, I'll get you a gym membership." It's like, "Oh, gym
At
membership."
14?
I was 14.
I think I was still getting dropped off at the daycare at 14. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
At the gym, My dad didn't let me work out until I was 16.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
said I was gonna end up short. Still ended up short. What happened?
No, my mom didn't let me prior to getting compensation. She was like, all right, you want to work out? Like you go to the gym. That's fine. As long as it keeps you out of the streets, keeps you out of like the house parties, I'm happy with that. And so, yeah, I started working out when I was 14. I didn't think I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I probably needed someone to help me. I would just get on the cardio machines and then do like the circuit machines.
You're kind of just watching
Just
and
like screwing around, yeah. And so yeah, I started going to the gym when I was 14. So I've always been into fitness. That's always been a huge thing in my life is fitness and health. Eventually I became a nurse. Again, fitness and health.
Yeah.
Like telling people.
Was your mom a nurse also? Or?
No, she works in social work, so she does kind of, I guess, work in healthcare, but not really.
Okay.
But I'm the only nurse in the family, medical professional.
Wow.
But,
That's good.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So going forward, I mean, you had that happen with your brother. How old was he, by the way?
He was only 17 years old.
17.
Yeah, so he was a kiddo.
Yeah.
So it was really hard on my family. It kind of, like I said, changed the dynamics. My mom, she always was a good mom. Like she was a single mom, very common in El Paso. but she kind of changed her focus. I think she was really focusing on like working and doing all that, and she
had a lot of people to
yeah, to
support,
try and
You
support.
said she bought the house as well.
And she bought the house, and so I think she changed her like what she wanted to do, and she really focused on raising me and my little brother, who was born a year later. And she did a great job. She's a great person, very kind, hard worker, and she really instilled that work ethic into us. My little brother too, he's a workaholic too. So
That's badass.
yeah.
That's cool. It's always good to have that kind of upbringing, especially, I mean, when circumstances aren't so good, you know, you went through some stuff, and
Yeah.
from what it sounds like, it was a little tough growing up. I'm sure privacy even was something really hard to come by
Yeah.
in your house.
It really
two bedroom,
was.
you know?
You know, my aunt was the same age as my older brother, but when she got old enough, she moved out, and so dynamics changed. But still the Northeast. There's still like a lot of outside factors going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, gang problems, stuff like that. But you know, you just kind of have to like look the other way, or just decide where you want your life to lead. You know, knowing what I knew and what happened to my younger brother, I knew what I didn't want out of my life. I know I didn't want to go down that path. Like, no way, you know.
Right.
And I wanted better for myself and for my family. You know, I figured my mom had worked this hard to get us this far. Like, you know, me and my brother can work harder and like bring our family up more. That makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's something to definitely get motivated by. You know, all those things that happen. It really does push you and make you kind of put things into perspective. Where do you want your life to go? Because it's really easy, I think, you know, especially in the Hispanic tradition, for you to just get caught up and just fall into the same cycle.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know for sure, like, I grew up in Lower Valley, which is like kind of like the sisterhood of the Northeast.
Yeah.
And it was tough too. I mean, granted, I think we had a really good life growing up. My parents, I was like the only kid that had his dad and his mom, you know, and everybody that I knew, their parents were divorced, and
Right.
but both of my parents really worked hard to put food on the table, and not only that, but give my sister and me the things that we wanted, you know? But it still made me want more. I wanted to get out of the Lower Valley, just like that kind of just starts boiling in you.
And you,
know?
yeah, you want to do better and progress, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So then what happened? What happened after that? Where?
Wow, so I mean, I went to college. I first went to school for multimedia journalism, and
Okay.
I got a degree in that. I worked for a bit. I worked with popsugar.com. This is before it was big.
Pop Sugar.
It's a like online entertainment. They have entertainment and fitness. They have a bunch of different like pop and stuff.
Like dance workouts and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
stuff like that. And so I worked with them for a bit, and I also
Salsa's really into
really into that, I'm sure. And then I interned at KBA for a bit, but I felt a little lost, and I knew I needed to like do something different. I don't know. I always imagined myself as an entrepreneur, but I figured I would use my multimedia skills with like photography, video editing, all that in an entrepreneurial way.
Right.
But like I didn't know how, and so unfortunate circumstances. My grandmother got sick, and she went to the hospital and she got hospitalized, and so I got to see like what people did for people, what nurses did for people, and physicians, and I thought, well, maybe I could work in healthcare. Maybe that's like what I could do. So I
Kind
looked.
of your turning point.
Yeah, it was like a turning point in my life, and so I looked into it, and I found a program, a one-year program for people who already had a bachelor's degree to get a bachelor's in science nursing. And so I applied, and honestly, that was probably the hardest year of my life. That was a very intense program.
I bet.
Yeah, and so I did it, I graduated, and before I graduated, I got a job working in a cardiac ICU with open heart patients, which is, while I was in school, like, I always loved the heart, and the reason why I've always loved fitness. And like, so, I loved that, I don't know, we did our little rotations in every unit, and so in that unit, they really focused on teaching patients not only like what caused them to need open heart surgery, but what they can do to keep their arteries open. So like
That's
exercise, eat healthy, stuff like that.
Yeah, the education behind
Yeah, and so
preventing, I guess, right?
yeah, and so that's where basically I stuck it out for most of my career was in CCU. That's where I work right now, the CCU.
Okay. And how do you like that so far?
I love it.
Yeah.
I do love my job. I love that I can work 3 days a week. I work night shift. so I work 12-hour shifts, but I always have 4 days off a week, which is great because I like to travel and like I own
So
Barbella
you're
Apparel.
on three.
Off of 4.
That's cool.
And sometimes I'll
Super
work
jealous of
2.
you.
Yeah.
I'm 6 out of 7.
Oh wow.
And that's because I just gave myself a day off. Tomorrow's my day off. Whoever wants to hang out.
Let's do it. Let's go off-roading.
But no, that's insane. So who would you say has inspired you to have that entrepreneurial background? You said your cousin was
Was a personal trainer. Yeah, so
your mom.
my mom, my stepdad actually, my mom got married eventually and as the father.
Mhm.
He actually owns a business kind of like remodeling homes. And I've always thought like, there's like so much you could do if you owned your own business. And so I knew that I wanted to do something entrepreneurial where I could like edit videos and do stuff. And so I thought of maybe starting like a training program. So I'm like, oh, I'll start like an online training program. So it's gonna be called Bella Fit. And so.
And where does Bella come from?
It just.
Where does that name come from?
Honestly, it just sounded catchy to me, and I kind of wanted to do something with like. This is gonna sound dumb, but my favorite like Disney movie growing up is Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do something with like Beauty and the Beast, but I'm Hispanic, so not Beauty, Bella, you know.
Bella, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do something along those lines.
I get
if
it.
that makes sense.
Well, yeah. So bar is obviously.
Like the bar from the gym, and then
Oh,
Bella.
I thought.
Oh.
Just kidding. No, just
No,
kidding.
no.
No,
On the
but-
weekends.
on the other weekends. Okay, so that makes sense. Bar is obviously fitness,
Yeah,
and then
fitness.
Bella,
And then Bella.
beauty.
Beauty, yeah.
Okay.
And so, I thought about doing online coaching service, and so I started looking into that, and then I made a clothing line to go along with it,
Mhm.
and I didn't realize how much dedication you would need to put into an online coaching service. Like people who personal train people, especially online, they work a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Even
a-
online.
Even
Even through
online.
text. I know there's a lot
Yes.
of online texters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's so demanding because I have actually done like network marketing in fitness,
Yeah.
and I know how demanding it could be just to work with one person, you know,
It's a
and
lot,
help them see
yeah.
results and help them see goals. So
And so there was a couple people that I coached completely free, just like coworkers and friends, and that alone, like I felt like, wow, I don't think I could do this like as a business. It would be crazy. And so I just kind of
so you were
decided.
testing. You were kind of testing.
I was
with
kind
your
of
friends,
testing
yeah.
with my friends, and they got great results. Like I totally coached totally for free. But then I thought, okay, maybe I can just go with the apparel because I really wanted to inspire people to stay healthy. And I feel like, not that men are more inclined to go to the gym, but for a woman to go and get into the gym and feel comfortable and really like go at it without worrying about like outside factors. Like, creepers, it takes a lot. There's a lot of reasons, like whether like women, like for example, their moms, you know, they can't leave the kids,
Right.
or like they just don't feel comfortable in the gym. There's a lot of reasons that women will come up with that are valid points to not go to the gym. But I wanted to inspire more women to get into the gym and get fit and stay healthy, and so I thought a fitness apparel line would be great.
Yeah.
If women feel good in what they're wearing, they'll go to the gym and actually work out.
Was this some sort of problem that you were feeling yourself going to the gym?
I don't feel it anymore, but I did feel uncomfortable when I was a teenager going to the gym.
Really?
It was really intimidating and awkward, just seeing especially when I was 17, 16.
Well, you were there since you were 14.
Yeah,
That's insane.
and I would actually go by myself sometimes too, and I would see of course, these big, buff dudes,
Yeah.
just jacked, and I'm this skinny little teenager, so a little intimidated. I got over it pretty quickly, but I do have girlfriends that don't like to actually go to the gym by themselves. They actually Christina, do you want to go to the gym? Are you off? They won't go by themselves. I have girlfriends that either they have to have their boyfriend with them, or they want
Gym partner.
a gym partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've never liked working out with people.
Me neither. I feel like it's distracting. I'll go with my chick friends if they want to go, and I know they're not going to go unless I go.
Mhm.
But I prefer to work out by myself. I kind of put my earphones on and zone out, and then it's just my time, and I just beast it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Huh? So you tried the training, the coach, and being a coach and helping your friends, and you saw the results, but it wasn't really in you. It wasn't that
Yeah,
passion. Wasn't really
it was
there.
the passion wasn't there, and I really liked designing clothing. When I was coming up with the apparel line to go with online coaching, it's a process. You have to find people who make the clothing, and I found people overseas, and then you communicate with them. Like I would have Skype conversations, and they would send me samples, and so I
That's
really
cool.
got into that. Like that was so much fun, and I was like, man, this is awesome. And some of the samples I got were like really bad, but the ones I got that were legit, I was like, wow, like this could, like people would like love this, love to wear this, and the items that I was getting were different than what I could find like in the store.
Right.
You know,
Right.
as far as how they fit and stuff.
That's cool. So, you kind of took your focus and went 100%
Towards the apparel line,
into
yeah.
the apparel line. So, what was your first month like? Kind of starting off once you saw a bunch of mock-ups and saw a lot of product coming in and kind of decided, okay, this is the one I'm gonna go with. What was that next step like for you?
It was wild. That's all I gotta say. It was wild. So, during the time that I decided to do all this, and I don't know, I'm very much like that type of person. Like I'm an all or nothing. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, and like nothing can change my mind, you know. And so at the time, I had an issue at my apartment with mold, and so I had to move out, and I moved into my mom's house. And so I told my mom, so how are these leggings coming from China? Can I use your office? And she's like, yeah, of course, Neha, like whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, it was a ton of leggings. Like it turned into like a little warehouse in my mom's office.
You had a little sweatshop going.
Exactly. And so I didn't know exactly how to do it. I was like, I am new to the business world. I don't have a background in business. I have no idea about taxes, nothing. I had to learn absolutely everything from scratch. Without a degree. I have my multimedia
You got a
background.
degree in something completely.
Yeah, like
different,
nursing and multimedia. So I can take pictures of the stuff, like I'm
Right.
really good at that, but when it came to business I had no idea. So yeah, I ordered a bunch of leggings and we were actually storing them in my mom's office. Like leggings, t-shirts, crop tops, like all this stuff.
Mhm.
And so I was actually mailing everything out to my customers.
Really?
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? It was going good. I launched in October 2017. And then I decided, you know, maybe I could send this to like a YouTuber, like a fitness YouTuber, somebody who has a good relationship with their followers and can give some honest feedback on this product. And so I sent it to a girl named Hope. She's out actually in Montana, and she's super
Montana.
sweet.
I love Montana.
Yeah.
I know some people that I met in Florida are from Montana. They're so nice and cool.
Yeah, she's super nice, super down to earth, really cool girl, and she actually loved the leggings. She loved
Really?
the leggings. She loved everything that I sent her.
Now, YouTubers or somebody with an influence like her, does she usually get products like that she has to kind of test or give her honest opinion on, or is this something that she just gave you a shout out because she knows you?
No, I sent it to her and I told her, you know what, this is gonna be like a gift from me to you. If you want to talk about it in a video, great. If you end up hating it, you don't have to talk about it. You know.
Don't talk about it if you don't like,
Just say it.
you don't like it. Don't say anything.
But it's something that I had an idea from. I did YouTube videos in my early 20s, and I did makeup YouTube videos, and so.
And that's actually how we met.
That's
right?
how we met,
We were
yeah.
talking right now. We've never face to face met, but we've probably been following each other for like the last 8 years.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah,
It's
a long
insane.
time.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of my first jobs that I had was a makeup artist, and so I started doing makeup videos, and different cosmetic companies would email me and send me stuff, and it was not like a dishonest thing, like, oh, please talk about my product.
Right.
It was like, here's my
you like
product.
it, cool.
If you like it, use it in a video, and that's like a way to advertise. And
Absolutely.
a lot of entrepreneurs don't know this, but like I think a lot of the old school ways of advertising, like in newspapers and magazines, it's kind of not out the window, but it's just changed.
Attention's changed.
Attention's changed.
Yeah.
People are on social media, people are using their phones, people are on YouTube.
Mhm.
You know, people build like relationships with people, and they're more likely to buy something that what their favorite YouTuber, their favorite Instagrammer suggests than something that they see in a magazine. If that
Correct.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And
It's basically like your best friend telling you something because you trust this person on YouTube.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so she ended up loving the leggings, and she's featured them. I think in one of her, what is it called from YouTube when you have like the little photo that like a preview of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually
No,
has
what is it?
Thumbnail.
thumbnail, and the YouTube thumbnail, she actually has my leggings on.
That's
And
badass.
so I was like, what? I did not expect her to have that reaction. I was nervous that she wasn't gonna like them, even though I really like them just because they're different. They're more of like the main legging that I came out with was more of a thicker material, so when you bend over, you won't see through them. And they feel really comfortable and compression-y, so you get like a really good support when you're working out. So they don't slide down, they don't move. But she ended up loving them, and she shouted them out, and then it just kind of grew like crazy.
That's insane.
But during this time, it was just me, and I had a little sweatshop in my mom's house.
So you were just running this out of your mom's house, and
Yes.
you just reached out. Before you did reach out to this YouTuber, what were sales like for you, or what was exposure like for you?
It was okay. It was kind of slow. I probably had built maybe like 50 to 80 customers. After
Okay.
she shouted me out, it like went up to like 1,000
Holy shit!
Now-
from a shout out.
from a shout out.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so I was packing leggings. Like there was one day that I had to go into work, and like I was up for like 24 hours, like just packing leggings, just trying to get them out. And then we had like huge trash bags, and we were going to the post office with them. Now I have like a way better system. I don't have a sweatshop in my apartment. I have
Every
but-
FedEx is like, who is this
like,
girl?
what is this? Like, what is she doing? She's sending like 100 packages. But yeah, that's how it was when I first started. But then I learned that you can actually have like, you know, warehouses, and they can, you know, ship them from the
You don't have to
manufacturer.
have the product.
You don't have to have the product on hand. So I learned, and so it's a lot easier to ship things now. But that's how it started, and that's like it grew really quickly. And October 2017 to now is like not even a year. So
Yeah, you're approaching a year.
yeah, we're approaching a year.
October's my birthday month.
Oh, nice.
It's coming up.
Exciting.
Medium, shirt, 10.5 inches.
I'll get you a Barbella crop top.
There you go. Actually, when you were talking about, you know, the leggings and the, you know, how they work, and, you know, when they bend down, they don't slide down.
Yeah.
I actually was playing something in my head, and I was like, why can I relate to that? And it's because of baseball and city leagues, we'll wear spandex, sliding short spandex,
Yeah.
and they slide down. So I'm like walking around pitching, and I'm like pulling up my spandex because they're like sliding down to
Yeah.
my knees.
Exactly.
It's super uncomfortable.
And it's the same thing with like women's yoga pants, and you know, not to get on the big brands, but like I own like Nike Pros and some Reebok stuff, but I don't know if it's a spandex material or what, but like it's really awkward when your leggings are sliding down and you have to like constantly pulling them up. So that was something I wanted to like solve, and so those leggings did that.
Yeah. So you mentioned, you know, one of the biggest, I guess, turning points for your business was a shout out.
A shout out.
A shout out on YouTube. And for me, just hearing that, that's like, it's alarming to me, and I feel like it shouldn't be. Like why am I so shocked? But I just never thought to go after YouTube influencers or people of influence like that on YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
It's always been like, oh, well, who's big on Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think YouTube is super underutilized. As far as marketing, I mean, what do you think, what kind of world do you think we live in right now? As far as the capabilities that we have for
Like,
somebody like you that wants to build a brand or build your business.
if I could tell anybody who wants to start a business, I'd say just go for it. There's so many different things you could do. Another thing like entrepreneurial that I'm doing and I'm gonna launch soon is I wrote a book, and people, that's like a whole other world in itself.
We know.
Launching
We're writing a book too.
Yeah, launching a book on Kindle, like that's an entrepreneurial thing that you can do.
Yeah.
And that's a great way if you're creative to like express yourself and kind of like write
Definitely.
about what you want to write about. But as far as marketing is concerned, I think it's all pretty much online. Like when you are scrolling through Instagram, you know, if you see something like a cool pair of shoes, you're more likely to go and look at them and like, oh, I wonder where those shoes are from.
Right.
And if you're just like an advertisement driving by on a billboard, you know?
You're
You
not
pay
likely
attention.
to write down
Yeah.
the phone number, memorize it, or
Yeah.
text that message text to that number.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you're driving.
You're driving. And like 20 years ago, like honestly, when I was a kid, that's where advertising was. It was like in magazines and
Right.
like on paper.
Yeah, you go to the back of the magazine. And
Yeah,
like,
to
okay,
see, like-
what is there for sale? Like,
Yeah, from a
what
skin.
cool
Yeah.
stuff- yeah, yeah.
But now I feel like everything's online, and I feel like a lot of people are on YouTube, and that's where the direction it's going. I have younger cousins that are in their teens, and they don't watch a lot of shows on TV. They watch YouTubers.
It's all on YouTube.
They
yeah.
they want to go to VidCon. They don't care about
Yeah.
like the shows. Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane.
It's where the attention's at, definitely. I think that's
Yeah.
something that we figured out too. And that's why we have the podcast and the vlog and all the content that we do, because not only is it on TV, you know, it's, I think the attention has shied away big time from that. And it's true, everybody's on their phone. And I think it's so crazy just to kind of pay attention to numbers and pay attention to the way society is right now. That attention span's going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's freaking like for you to really reach out to people, you really have to play it smart
Mhm.
and really market right.
Yes,
I think, you know,
exactly.
because in reality, I think it's really the first 3 seconds that you have somebody's attention before they just continue to swipe.
They scroll to someone
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Exactly.
Because I'm a scroller,
I'm a
and
scroller too.
I've noticed that like you have 3 seconds to impress me, or I'm scrolling up.
Yeah.
You know,
To
so
follow.
yeah, it's definitely crazy. So talk to me about the business. You started the business. You got the shout out. Business started booming. What products? What are you carrying right now? And what are some of the products that you started with, and now you kind of evolved to, or kind of going towards?
So we started with simple, like just crop tops, caps, and leggings. We still carry those same original leggings. They're called the Christine leggings, which kind of like my name, but a little different. I'm not very.
Kinda like her
When
name.
it comes to that, I need to get more creative. Okay, and I've grown to try and make creative names. Like recently, I've been asking for like color waves. I've been asking Instagram to help me choose color names, and that's actually been helping a lot.
Like your audience? On
My
Instagram?
audience,
Polls?
yeah.
I
Polls.
love polls.
I love polls. Yeah.
I love Instagram.
I love
Instagram's the shit.
Instagram. Yeah, Instagram's awesome.
Yeah.
But now we have caps, we have beanies, we have backpacks, we have socks, leggings, shorts.
So you've really kind of been a well-rounded
Yeah.
athletic. What did you start with?
We started just with literally leggings and crop tops. And
You
it
have
was-
some examples here?
Yeah, these are actually
Shorts.
some of the shorts that we started with. Before we only had
I'm gonna try them on. You brought the color that I requested. which is
exactly
good.
pink. Funny is like you asked me like, hey, did you bring any clothing? I didn't bring anything. I don't know why. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna show up. I should have
Yeah.
brought clothing.
That was my fault. I should have told you way earlier. I told you literally an hour before. I was like, hey, do you have some product with you? Bring it.
It just so happened that I'm really open with like exchanges and stuff. So my customer sends back to me, told me they're too small. I'm like, okay, cool. Like send them back to me, and then I'll send you a different size. So these are some of the shorts that we have. These are small. You know, they look like super tiny. They would not fit me.
I'm not gonna wear them, but I'm a materials guy.
Yeah,
And this is so dope.
they're super slick,
This is cool.
super comfy. Something I don't
Give
like
it a
with
feel.
give it
You
give
know,
it
you
a
know,
feel.
give it a feel.
Buy 'em for my wife.
Your baile, yeah, there you go.
And then we
They're
have
hitting the gym right now.
a really maybe you guys could wear my shorts.
You
or just your
and-
wife.
You and your wife.
A little weird. These come in a whole bunch of different colors. This is another one.
I like maroon.
Maroon, come in black, and then this gray, and then nude.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this client,
Yeah, she was
smallest too.
small is too tight for her, so I have to actually send her a medium.
That's cool.
And so every now and then I'll check my PO box, and this was in there. So and I can check my PO box for coming here, and I was like, wait, I have shorts. So it just kind of worked
That's
out.
good. That's
So
good.
yeah.
So what inspires you? What is the inspiration behind the clothing and you know the type of designs that you're picking? Obviously, you said you have always been interested in designing.
Yeah, like for me, I'm wearing jeans today, but normally I just wear like yoga pants or scrubs. That's it. Like I'm either wearing gym clothes or like I'm going to work. And so I live in athletic apparel. So for me,
That's
it
cool.
just kind
I
of
wish
works
I
out.
could. I wish I could show houses in like some
I've gone to
dry
work.
fit shorts.
Like I've gone to work. We recently had to go drop something off my boss, and I was wearing leggings, and she was like, "Did you go to the gym?" I was like, "Yeah." But like I wear them everywhere. It's either
Yeah.
scrubs or so I'm always really comfortable. I don't own like a blazer or anything like that. No, I could not work a 8 to 5. I don't think I'm not that type of person. I love nursing, I love healthcare, and I love fitness. But yeah, no, I actually try on everything before I launch it and before I, offer it to my customers. I wear it myself and see how I like it. So I don't like it, or if there's something off about it, I don't like it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to like it enough to sell it, right?
Exactly,
Put it in
yeah.
people's hands.
That's how what I live by. So any entrepreneurs, like, but you have to really believe in your product.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you have to like love your product yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be uncomfortable selling like something that's unauthentic or like lying.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to kind of morals too. You know, like
Yeah.
what kind of business do you want to run?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, just like what you just said right now, you love what you do.
Yeah.
You love being in healthcare. You love the apparel. You love the grind of it.
I do love the
And I think
grind.
you really have to, like,
Yeah.
especially you that you have 2 jobs and then you're on call for another job.
Yeah.
For you to run the business and be successful in it, it really does take some time, you know. So, what
Yeah.
kind of sacrifices have you made or have you been making, you know? Because I feel like there's a real fine line, and I'm even seeing it too, like